Peace. My name is Tony Perkins, and welcome to the Live, Learn, and Grow podcast. The 3 pillars we do to enhance our quality of life. Live, something we do every day to make the next day better. Learn, something we do every day. Once we acknowledge the lesson. Grow, simply just building off the lesson learned. I got a dope guest coming. It's gonna be a great show today. Stay tuned. What's up? Live, learn, and grow. We back here with my homegirl, Tish Luv. What's going on, beautiful? How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Thank you for coming out.
Absolutely.
For real. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Time flies, but last year I think we get a redo of last year because last year was just crazy.
Right.
So if it's been 2 years, it's only really been 1 year. We're not gonna count last year.
Word. We met in acting class.
Yep. Yolanda.
Right.
Yolanda.
Right.
Yep.
Big shout out to the casting diva.
Yep.
Right.
Shout out to her.
Right.
I haven't seen her in a long time either. That's my homie.
Word. That's what's up. Who's Tish? Who is Tish Luv?
Who is Tish Luv? I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a media host. I like to live, learn, and grow.
Word.
That's why I'm here.
That's right.
I'm getting to know myself still.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know the answer to that question, but I'm figuring it out.
Right. And stuff like that takes time. You
Yeah.
know, it takes some a little longer than others, right?
Yeah.
Because just like live, learn, and grow, we living, we learning something every day once we
Exactly.
acknowledge the lesson, right?
Right.
And it's just about how are we growing from it, you know, and that's something that goes on every single day. So you can never really stop growing and never gonna stop learning, right?
Right, exactly.
So, it's definitely something to think about, and that's what we're here to do.
That's what we're here to do.
I'm here to dig inside Tish Luv's mind. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we met in acting class.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to start acting?
I always was intrigued by acting, love movies. So I said, let me give it a try. Let's see how I do. Within going to acting, though, I realized that I like to do this. I like broadcasting. I like talking in front of a camera, but maybe not so much acting. That's why I didn't keep pursuing it.
Right.
Not something that I'm writing off. I may go back, but just meeting people, the networking, and sometimes the characters are fun. But,
right.
You got to really be into it, and I respect actors so much that because I didn't think I was into it enough, I was like, I'm not even going to play with it. I'm going to wait until,
Right. That's dope. But that class was fun.
It really was.
That class was fun, and it was actually a range tester for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just the exercises that we were doing in the class was always cool. I would love some footage of that. I think I had some footage of those classes that we were doing. Yeah. But
do you still act? Do you still go to class?
I'm still doing it. I'm still doing
Dope.
it. Yeah.
Dope.
It's the best thing because there's no age limit on it.
Exactly.
You can do it.
That's why I said if later on I decide I get the bug again, I can go back because there's no age to it.
I was watching one of your episodes on your show, and They said, you know, you talk too much. You know, you love to talk.
I love to talk.
You love to talk. Right, right. So, you loving to talk, it's only right that you have a talk show.
Right. That's what I said.
Right. So, okay. So let's talk about that. You know, the Tish Luv show.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What you want to know about it?
I want to know everything about it. I want to know, first and foremost, I want to know, what do you expect or what do you want your viewers to get from your show?
That's a really good question. Information. Also, I think that I don't always hear my own voice, right? And I think that there's probably people out there that think like me or have the same morals and values and likes and dislikes. So I really want to connect with people, you know, like me, and people that's not like me, so they can know that there's different opinions out there.
Right.
Sometimes I get co-hosts, and I love when I have a co-host that I have a different opinion, you know, about anything.
Right.
Because then it gives so much diversity. We talk about things. I see things their way. They can see things my way. So that's really it. Perspective. I want people to get perspective. Like, okay, I never thought about something like that, or you know.
Right. You've had I've watched. I did watch a couple of them, and you were talking. You guys were talking about a very interesting topic, colorism.
Oh yes, yes. I had a really good show about colorism.
Yes, about colorism, and I wanted to know from you, like, because I heard you told your story, and I just wanted to know, like, where are you today with that with the situation that still exists?
Yes, it definitely still exists. I came a long way with it, and you know, from talking about it so much and being able to express myself, I felt better, because I think sometimes it's just insecurity and you don't know how to express that you feel a certain way because of something you can't even help. But talking to people and getting other views, because if you remember, there was a lighter skinned girl on there with me, and she went through colorism, and I was like, wow, you know, it was something that I was holding on to like it was me, but everybody deals with different things and sometimes the same thing. So if you talk about it and you realize, like, you know, she wanted to be darker. Go figure, I'd never do that, you know?
Right.
So today I am much better with it. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'm not like totally insecure about my complexion. I actually do love my complexion.
Me too.
It depends.
Me too.
Sometimes, you know, you still feel that, like, you're trying to figure out if something is colorism, like, you know, but it could just be in your head because you're so used to that. But I think the world is coming around, and you know.
But I remember hearing, you know, back when I was a little younger, and you know, today, like current, people say, oh, she's so pretty to be dark skinned.
Oh yeah, people. That's what I get all the time.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what I don't,
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Like you're not supposed to be pretty if you're dark, and people treated dark-skinned girls and guys, I'm sure, like that. You know, so that was really hard to deal with. And like you said, today people are like, oh, you're cute to be dark-skinned, and I'm like, well.
It's so funny because I watch, you know, I see a lot of skits on TikTok about something simple, about a light-skinned brother and a dark-skinned brother. You know, how a light-skinned brother would do certain things like jump in the pool. A dark-skinned brother would, I guess, you know, some of them are like, the dark-skinned brother would dive into the water more aggressive, and then the light-skinned brother would, you know, he would like ease into the water. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, like how do we get there? How did we get there as a people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And recognizing that you're African American for most, but first and foremost a human.
Exactly.
Right. To just critiquing and, you know, being judgmental towards each other.
I think it's learned. I mean, it's the spin-off of racism. So if you're the lighter you are, the brighter you are, and even when it crosses culture, it's still the same because it's not just America, it's everywhere. I know Asian people that deal with that, Spanish people that deal with that, and I'm like, you know, it just doesn't stop. It's sad, you know.
It is.
I have so many young people in my life, and everybody's just so beautiful, but that's an insecurity people really deal with, their skin complexion. And like I said, it could be because they feel too light or because they feel too dark.
Right. I think everybody does because everybody running to the beach trying to get tanned up and get darker. You know what I mean?
I used to run away from this time. Now I'm like, listen, this is me, you know?
Yeah. You know, I know I be trying. I think I probably just didn't admit it, but I think I had that issue also because I always wanted to be darker.
You wanted to be darker.
Yeah.
Was it because you had, here I go, I'm gonna ask you questions.
It's all good, right? It's all good.
Was it because you had people around you that were darker that you wanted to emulate? Why?
I can remember one year, right, years ago. Remember when every you know, like the end of basketball season, right? Everybody would go to Cancun.
Yes.
Years ago, right? I was a part of that. I was one
Okay.
of those guys, right? And I mean, it was so funny because every day I was on the beach. Like it was mad stuff going on. You know, I'm a little older than you.
Yeah, I wasn't a kid.
Right.
But okay, I take your word for it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I was always on the beach because I was conscious of it. You know, getting that tan. I got my best tan in Puerto Rico, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it was so funny because I had got burnt up. And my man, you know, peace be upon him, Malik Sealy, said, he asked a crazy question. He was like, because he saw me all red and burnt up. He was like, yo, Tone, like, who you trying to be?
Oh, wow.
Right. You know what I mean? So that resonated with me, you know, from then till now. Wow. So now it was more or less like a, just being comfortable in your skin and who you are.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And, but we don't want to, I want to continue talking about your show though, because, what are some other like heavy topics that you plan on discussing?
It's so funny because I was just talking to my creative director and we were like, you know, I think what gets I get going when I talk about love. Like I love talking about relationships. I love talking about what happened. Because so many people have so many different opinions about things.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You're married now.
I'm married.
Right? Congrats on that.
Thank you.
You weren't married. Were you married in class back then?
I got married in 2019. So.
Right. So no, this was before 2019.
This was probably 2018. I got married right at the beginning. So we probably were in class at the middle end of 2018.
Okay. Right. So, all right. So what is that life like?
Me and my husband were together for, how long was we together? We was together for a long time before we got married. So honestly, stuff changed, but nothing changed. Like something kicked in, like a woman's thing, like a wifely, I don't know if it's in the head, but something kicked in our relationship. But as far as like living wise and everything, that all stayed the same. But I feel like we bonded a little bit more. We got a little more closer. I got a little bit more vulnerable once he became my husband.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. But I just find that to be so dope because we all, women always say, oh, we was together for this before we got married. So that time before was the building time. Like I had a conversation earlier with somebody and I'm like, yo, we always celebrating the graduation. We always celebrate the graduation. We never celebrate the hard work to get to the graduation. So, that time while y'all were building and growing to become one, those are the real good times where y'all developed a friendship.
Yes.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
very important, and that's
Right.
probably why we are still married.
Right, yeah,
because
yeah.
that's truly my best friend, you know? And that was built during the times of us being together prior to us
Right.
being married.
Right. So, how long do you think it takes to say and comfortably say, I know someone?
I think it depends on the person, because I can know you forever, but you never open up to me, or, you know, we just don't have a bond, or, you know. So it depends on how open you are and how willing you are to share yourself with somebody, right? Because you can know, you ever met somebody and somebody tell you something about them and you like, really, that person did that? And you could have known them forever. Like, really, I didn't know, because that person never let you see that side of them.
Right.
So it really depends on if that person wants you to know them. I really think that. I think that, again, going back to my husband, now there's really nothing that surprises me, but for maybe 8 years in still, I was like, I didn't think he would do that, you know, or that, you know, vice versa. Probably with me too. Now he hasn't done anything that I didn't expect anymore.
Right. So how is he with your profession?
Very supportive. He loves it.
I see it. I'm
Yeah.
just, you know, the
Yeah.
people just don't, the viewers just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I see it. And I applaud that.
Thank
you know
you.
what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and that's dope. You
Yeah.
know, because I want that. You know what I mean? Because I know what I do.
Right.
And I'm, you know, not that I'm looking, but that's definitely going to be a topic or a discussion with whomever, you know, my significant other is.
Yeah.
Like, because you need to be understandable of this.
You, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Even here today, you know, I'm going on my friend's podcast. There's no, you know, have fun. You know, you have to have a sense of trust. You have to have a sense of security. But you also have to know who you're dealing with. I feel like he knows me. He knows about I'm gonna be home if I wasn't coming here. So he's not wondering where I'm at. He know everywhere I'm at. And that's just how I am. I make sure that I'm out front and open with everything. So he's very supportive with everything.
Right. I see, you know, his daughter is a daddy's girl,
Super.
right?
Super daddy's girl.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
My
it.
daughter
I love
is definitely a daddy's girl. I'm number 2.
Right.
Well, I don't even know if I'm number 2, because then it's her grandparents, and then it's mommy. But
Right.
yeah, and he's all about her too. So
Right. That's dope.
It works.
That's dope. Yeah. So, what is it? Is it anything? What did you hate as a kid? What were you told not to do as a kid that you tell your daughter to do now? 2 things that you hated someone to tell you as a kid, but you tell your kid to do it now.
express myself. Sometimes I catch myself doing what I was taught and telling her to stop, but I always readjust and let her express herself. Because I think that causes anxiety. I think that you take longer to find out who you are. I feel like you get insecurities because you have this to say, but you don't know if it's okay to say, because everybody will tell you to be quiet and that's not your place and stay in the child's place. While there should be boundaries, because she is a child, I do let her express her feelings.
Nice. How do you, with the climate of the world today, how do you keep her aware, I'll say, without traumatizing her with everything that's going on, like, you know, racism?
You know what's crazy? I think media, social media, she has YouTube, so these kids are so smart.
Very, very.
They can
Very.
hold these
Yes.
very intellectual conversations. their world is just different from my world. So like, what's crazy to us is almost normal to them, right? So it's really hard to traumatize a kid that's been through COVID, that's seen racism on TV, that had a racist president. Like they think traumatic things are normal.
Right.
So we speak often, and I tell her how I see life. You know, not to say like this is how you have to, but I'm her mom and I'm raising her, and I give her, I want to say my opinion, but that sounds crazy because I'm talking to a 7-year-old, but that's honestly, you know,
right.
Because kids do what they want to do. And she's already 7. I feel like I just had her, so she's already going to be older soon.
Right.
And you can only do the best you can and let them know this might turn into this, and this might turn into that, and this is why you know, sometimes if she's sassy, I'm like, you know, you gotta relax, because you get sassy with the wrong person. I ain't always gonna be the savior, you know. But yeah, these kids just know so much, and they've seen a lot already.
George Floyd. Right?
Yeah, that.
Right.
She's watched that.
Right. But these are clips that we're used to seeing in the 50s and in the 60s.
Yeah.
Now it's our reality. So what frame of mind does situations like that put you in moving forward?
Oh, man. I think that I'm more self-aware with my blackness. Like I'm even with the colorism, I was telling the girls, like, I didn't have so much of a sense of racism because I wasn't around a lot of white people. I was around my own, so I felt colorism. And then when you see that so vivid, it's like, that really could be me and my family members. Like, this world is really racist. I grew up in the Bronx, and it's like, world is so much bigger than the Bronx. America's so much bigger than New York. And there's a lot of racism going on. So whatever I can do to help, I marched, I donated, all of that, because I'm like, I just don't know what to do. I used to watch CNN and MSNBC and Fox until I had anxiety.
Right. What does a day of Tish consist of?
It depends on which day. Like, if it was a few weeks ago, I was in Hawaii.
Let's talk about that. You know.
It really depends on what season, like not season for real, but like what I'm doing. So if I'm doing my show, it's a lot of show prep. It's talking to my creative director. If it's vacation time, it's that. If it's family, I don't know. It just depends on what we're doing, because I'm getting ready to go back to Disney now. Now it's the kids' vacation.
Wow.
It's a lot.
That's dope. So,
but if I'm not doing none of that, I'm watching TV.
So is it safe to say, you know, if you're not working, you're considered a homebody?
Oh, 1,000,000%. I'm definitely a homebody to a fault.
That's cool. Cool. That's how I want my woman.
To be a homebody? Why?
Sit tight, honey. I'm out there already.
Oh man, you know, with what we do, sometimes it's really good to network and go out. And unless I get like invited, like I don't be going nowhere, and it could be detrimental to our profession, at least.
Word. You have you mentioned to me you have a production company.
I have a production company, yes, I do.
Okay. I wanna know about it. How did you get it started, and you know what sparked that interest?
So my friend was helping me film my podcast and my talk show, and one day we were having a conversation, and he has his own production company. And one day, and I'm going back to it. He was like, I want to partner with you. So you're the host, I'm behind the camera, let's create something. And one day we were having a conversation. He was like, let me tell you something. The first thing you need to do is go create your own company. You know, don't not do that. Create your own company. So that's what I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just going around podcasting or going around and being on the radio.
Right.
So he put the spark in my back to do that. So everything that I did that came out under me, instead of it just being what it was, it came out under TD3 Media, which is my production company, right?
Right.
So then I also host on a radio show. And I had a girl come up, and I think she's phenomenal. Her name is London Hill, and she is a rap artist. And I just thought she was so dope. So one day I called her after I heard one of her songs, and I'm like, I'm like, London, you know, what's up with your career? And she was just like, you know, I'm trying to figure everything out. So we had a meeting, long story short, I ended up signing her to my production company.
Nice. Congrats on
So
that.
what I thought was just gonna be like for me doing hosting stuff ended up being like music production also. And it was crazy because when I was making the company, I was talking to my friend and he was like, don't box yourself in. Don't say TD3 records, or you know, because then it's just radio. I mean, because then it's just music. Do something that is across the board. So that's why we ended up doing media. And at that time, I wasn't even thinking about music. So, you know, that's how that happened.
Right. So what is it that you know, having a production company, so you have to have some type of knowledge of music, right? You know, I say that because, you know, I think I got an A&R ear.
Okay.
Me. You know what I mean? I know hot stuff.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so with that being said, like, what is it that you look for? Because I'm pretty sure you're going to sign more artists to come, you know, in the future. So what is it that you look for in an artist that that you find capable and can bring something to your production company?
They gotta, like, I feel like music is a feeling, right? And some people do have really good bars, but they still may not move. You may be like, oh, that's dope, but is it a feeling that they give you? Or is it just, there's a lot of artists or rappers, let me say, that can go and freestyle and it's dope, but I'm just listening to that. I'm not like,
yeah, I heard you. You know, I've seen you with a couple. You know, probably, you know, your close friends. You know, peace be upon him, Fred the Godson. I seen you know.
See, Fred the Godson, when he spit, God rest him, he gave me a feeling. Like, you know, he was so nice. But London, I've dealt with I've heard so many females and males come through and they'll rap, and they're not bad, but they ain't give me what she gave me. She gave me like nostalgia. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm back in 1999 or something when she was rapping and her voice and her cadence. I listen to all of that.
That's
the
what
flow,
I'm talking about,
the confidence, how you could change up. She's very versatile. Oh, when you hear the things she can do, she sings. She's Jamaican, so she could rap and patois. She's just really, she's an amazing artist.
Wow. You know, being on the topic of hip hop, man, we just lost a legend, you know, Biz Markie.
Yes, we did.
Right, peace be upon him. And
yes, we did.
what was one of your memorable moments of Biz Markie?
Biz Markie. Oh Baby You. I don't even know how old I was, but that song gave me a feeling, like that beat. And I just listened to him talk about how that came up or whatever, how artistic, how much of a genius he was in music. But I didn't understand any of that. I just know when I heard it, it did something to me, you know? And then I remember his voice, and when he came on the radio, when I heard he got the vapors, she got the vapors, I knew that was the same guy that sang Just a Friend, you know, because I was young, but I know I was able to identify his voice, and I loved Biz Markie. I really did.
Yeah, Biz was dope. I actually met Biz years ago. This is before he became, you know, Biz Markie, and he was come through in Jersey City, because you spend a lot of time here in Jersey City.
Okay.
And he came through the block. We was all on the block, and he had this red BMW. And it was like wow, he's doing it.
Yes, I can imagine.
Word.
That's so dope.
But
I wish I
yeah,
would've
Biz
met
is Biz was definitely a talent, man. A talent, you know, that we can all appreciate and learn from.
Yep.
You know, he was my favorite beatbox guy is Doug, though.
I mean, that's understandable.
Okay, all right.
That's understandable. I love me some the show.
Right.
Oh my God.
But did you appreciate Buff though from the Fat Boys?
I don't know.
Yo,
I know Ronzel.
Right.
I know he was like a beat. Yeah. So those are the three
Okay.
that I know.
Okay.
So tell me about him.
Well, the Fat Boys, you know, fat
boy.
Right,
I know
right.
I just didn't know him
You
as
know
a
what I'm saying?
beatboxer.
Yeah,
I
the
was-
human beatbox.
I probably, if I hear it, I'll know it. But I was okay.
Right.
That sounds very familiar. I was little, guys. I really was. I was
Right,
young when
right.
you know all of that was prevalent. But
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah. And it's funny, you know, as I sit and listen to what we're talking about, and it's just different generations of hip hop, right?
Yes.
What are your thoughts? Let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on people like today? Like you have a young artist right now, right? Like their sound is totally different from what I grew up on.
Right.
Right. And then you have certain people, because I can confess that I was one who said this. This music today is not hip hop.
Yes.
And I totally, you know, I don't regret anything in life, but I totally take that back. You know, and the reason for that is because our era was our era. And that was the music that was, you know, created, right? This is their era.
Yes.
And this is their music. So let them, and Method Man said that
Yes.
also.
Yes.
Let them have their time.
Their time. Because before your time, I'm sure your parents was like, what the heck is this on the radio?
Exactly.
That's not music.
Exactly.
Because they wanted to listen to their thing.
Right.
So I'm with you. 100%. I went through the time like I don't want to listen to the radio. You know, I still wanted to listen to Big and Jay. I listen to Jay-Z every day.
Right.
LL Cool J, love him to death. Shout out to Uncle L. Like, you know, because I felt like everybody was mumbling. I was like, what the heck is this?
Right.
But then I realized, you know, even during my time, there were different types of hip hop as I grew up, because you had gangster rap, right? You had dance rap. You had all type of different things. It just depends, because when the South took over, it was different from what New York sound like.
Right, that's funny. You said this when the South took over.
They took over for a while. You can't. We always keep the crown, but
I know.
we sat down for a second.
Right,
and Wayne
right.
and No Limit and all of them. They took over, you know, and
Word.
that was different from what we were used to. But I still liked that. So now I'm like, maybe the kids understand the mumble. I don't know. I'm just go with it, and I feel like that's fading out. As
Right.
does everything else, and I feel like real rap is coming back. Not to say y'all mumblers wasn't real rap, but y'all know what I mean.
Right.
It's coming back though.
And it's funny
Bars.
because everything we're discussing, you know, we lived it. Right?
I think we had the best years. I really do. We really
I'm,
do.
you know, like I said,
so much.
I'm just a little older than you, Tish, but I'm from that Grandmaster Caz type hip hop, you know, and it wasn't really too many eras messing with that era. Like the 90s was dope, and the 90s was a highlight of hip hop music. But
went mainstream.
right. But back then, like that Beat Street. Have you seen the movie Beat Street?
No.
Oh my goodness.
And you know what's so crazy? My stepfather was a DJ. So all of this music that you're talking about, I was little because I grew up in the Nas and Jay-Z era. Right before that was LL. He was still Big Daddy Kane was who he was. I know them. So when you go any further back than that, I don't.
Can I just let the people know something right now? Right? Okay, listen up, people. This is real right here. This young lady grew up in the Bronx.
I did. I grew up in the Bronx in the 80s.
In the Bronx. And never seen Beach Street.
Or Wild Style.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna go watch. I know about them though. I know that I need to watch them. That's
Oh
the most
my
important part.
goodness.
And I'm living, I'm learning, and I'm growing.
That's
so
what I'm talking about, Tish.
Make sure, and I'm gonna let you know after I watch.
All right,
both of those movies.
please contact me. Put that on your to-do list soon,
1,000,000%.
Right, and while we're discussing that, I'm just gonna ask you one more. Claudine, have you seen Claudine, the movie Claudine?
I've seen that in bits and pieces.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I just wanted to put that on you. Beach Street.
Who's the lady in that movie?
Diane Carroll.
Diane Carroll.
Used to be upon her, right?
Yes.
And James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm. He was the garbage man.
AKA Root.
I'm gonna go watch it. I don't know why I only seen a very small snippet of it when she was like cleaning up because
I think that was more or less
was
the part of the
coming.
trailer. Oh, the welfare was coming.
Welfare was coming, so she was cleaning up.
Miss K vac and them.
Yeah, I
coming.
seen that part.
Yeah, put
I'm
all
gonna
that
watch
stuff
the whole
away.
thing.
Please, Tish.
Okay.
It's all for the culture. It's not even for me. It's for the culture.
It's for the
Just
culture.
do it for the culture.
And I am a child of the culture.
Exactly. I know you are. I know you are.
Get it together.
There we go. There we go. So, what's next?
This music situation, it takes a lot. It takes a lot, and it's super fun. So I see myself doing more of that. You know, doing what we have to do with my artists now, and then hopefully going more into it. But as far as like the Tish Luv show, I'm always gonna do that.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, you had some things going on with Memphis Bleak?
Oh, he has a podcast, him and Rel Carter and Puzo.
Okay.
And Puzo happens to be a friend of mine, so I went up there a few times and did their podcast. But COVID, just everything and you know,
right,
nobody's really back to where they're doing anything consistently yet. So hopefully in the future, but as of right now, I don't know.
Wow. I'm just curious how, you know, you have all of this stuff going on. How do you manage to just keep it all together and just stay sane?
I don't think I was always been sane. I think I'm getting sane. I think I went out of my mind
Okay.
for a little bit.
Okay.
It just looked like I kept it together.
All right.
I just take it one day at a time and try to have fun and don't take anything too seriously, because when you do that, then that's when you really go crazy.
Right. So let me ask you this. I'm an educator, so I'm going to ask this question. What were your thoughts on virtual learning?
You mean personally?
Yeah, for your daughter.
Oh, I would never do it again because I could not do that. It was hard. My daughter told me, you make me too nervous. You give me anxiety, because if she couldn't read something that I know she should be able to read, it was like, you better, you know, and she was like, mommy. So I had to hire her a tutor. She did well, though. But it's hard, you know, it's, I think in education, one-on-one is dope, but it has to be the person that's doing the one-on-one has to be an educator.
Right.
You know?
Right. So with that being said, how important do you feel it to be for parents to take classes so they are able to help their children with their homework and stuff like that? Because that's definitely a challenge here, you know, and throughout, I'm pretty sure. Because
so many of the learning methods changed. We were doing math, and I was like, we're doing all of this to get this? Like, I could just do this like this. And it's like, no, it's the problem solving that they want to see. They want to see their minds growing. I'm like, oh my God, my teacher didn't teach me none of this. I don't know.
And they'll mark it incorrect.
If you don't show the work. 100%. So that was tough. My daughter's very smart though, thank God. So, and her teachers were excellent, and they would help, and we would conference very frequently. So it wasn't the worst thing now in hindsight, but going through it, it was a little challenging.
Yeah.
You know, you were just thrown into it though. That's why it wasn't like I had it. It was just like one day they in school, one day don't bring them back. Here's your computer. It's like, what? I don't know how to do this, but it worked out. She got good grades. That's why she's going to Disney World.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. And we celebrate that.
Yes.
Celebrate that, right?
Absolutely.
How important is that to celebrate? You know, working in the school system, you know, the teachers are always bringing the news home to the parents that what Raheem did, or Raheem's misbehaving, or Raheem didn't hand this in, or Raheem was playing around or talking too much in class, but they never highlight the good days that Raheem had.
Yeah, that's true. That's how I felt when I was in school. I was like, tell the good stuff too. So I get it. I definitely get it. I don't know. Hopefully this year, I don't know. We'll see. So do you tell your students' parents when they're good?
I'll always highlight. I'm not in the classroom, but I'll always let them know. I'd rather talk about that. You know, I'll address the issue at hand, but for the most part, you know, we will somewhere down the line or in that conversation, I will say, oh, but he did do this, you know. Or,
I would have loved you.
Right,
like,
right,
yes,
yeah.
Tell us some of the good stuff too.
Exactly. You know, it's important, and
Yes.
you know, I've learned this since I've been in the Board of Education. For the teachers to work or be from with the work area, because the kids see me on the weekends.
Which
you know,
is
and it's
dope.
like exactly. So you know, they identify with me, and you know, they see me outside. So it's like, yo, Mr. P, yo, Mr. P. You know what I mean? And
What grades?
It's K through 8.
Oh, nice.
But the thing I share with some of the teachers, you know, like you establish that trust, because teachers work in areas that they're not from.
Yes, just like cops.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Now, what do you feel about white teachers knowing how to, I'll say, deal with our children?
I know it's not a monolith, but they don't know how to. They don't. They're not from. We're from such different cultures, so I don't know if it's their fault per se, but I think maybe something needs to be implemented to where they get more familiarized before they just come in and think they could teach, because they're not going to be able to deal with what we could do. If a kid is talking to me and we're from the same area, I hear them different than somebody that's not from their culture. So you can be white and understand it if you're around it, if you want to learn it. It's not just because you're white, it's because you're not from here. So just like I can go somewhere if I go to Africa right now, I'm still black. I may not understand their culture still. It's not race, it's just culture based, I think, for the most part.
I like that. Boy, this is a dope podcast, man, because we're not doing nothing but living and learning and growing over here. You know what I mean? And I appreciate Tish Luv coming through here today, man. You know, I haven't seen her since acting class. And, you know, I see her doing her thing on social media and her community service and all that kind of stuff. She's giving back to the community. She's doing her work. She's a full-time mother.
I am.
She got all kind of stuff going on. So, you know, but for the most part, for those that don't know, Tish, let them know your handles or how they can check your stuff out and all that.
Yes, my Instagram is Tish Luv, TISHLUV. That's really the only platform I'm always on. And you're always on there saying, okay now.
Right.
I'm also on Facebook. Let me tell you a funny story. Yeah, I always post from Instagram to both, to Facebook and Instagram, but I'm never on Facebook. So yesterday, for whatever reason, I go on Facebook and I go into message. I have like 200 messages, and I know people probably thought like I was ignoring them, but I just never go there. But I'm active on it because from Instagram, you could just directly post it to Facebook. So to everybody that's in my messages for Facebook, I love y'all. I'm gonna answer everybody. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's really it. Twitter, do you still do Twitter?
I do. Every now and then I get, messages from people, posting stuff, but I rarely post. I probably just comment every now and then, but I'm not posting anything really. But Twitter be happening.
It's still happening, right? Well, I'm the same TISHLUV on Twitter, so you can follow me there too.
Okay. All right, that's what's up. Hey, listen, this has been great. This has been great for us to just be presented with the opportunity to catch up.
Yeah.
Even though, when we were in class, we didn't really talk as much, but we did have some dialogue where we established, okay, all right, what up?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's good to see, like I said, you're definitely doing your thing. You're an inspiration for me, and others. So, with that being said, man, this is Live, Learn, and Grow.
Yes. And congratulations on this, because this is amazing.
Word. Thank you. I appreciate it, sis. Yes. Tish Luv, your boy, Tony Perkins. Live, Learn, and Grow. Peace.